High definition. This is News Center 7.
Law enforcement is using more Narcan than ever before, and Montgomery County is on track to shatter overdose numbers from last year. Good evening. I'm Cheryl McHenry.
And I'm James Brown. Despite that, the supplier says there is no shortage of the life-saving drug. We have Team 7 coverage investigating this claim. Natalie Jovanovich is in the town hall where Sheriff Phil Plummer will speak.
But we begin with Kate Bartley. She's live with how much the state is spending this year on the overdose antidote and why it should not have an impact on local departments. Kate.
According to Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services in Montgomery County, a single dose of Narcan costs about $35. It's taking as many as 16 doses to revive some patients.
We're seeing more and more fentanyl being pumped into our community.
That's a fact
It's just a bad situation.
most agree with. Montgomery County Regional Dispatch handled a little more than 1,000 calls for overdoses in 2015. They topped that already this year. But as for reviving the victims on those calls, experts do not agree whether Montgomery County has enough Narcan to do it. When we talked to Sheriff Plummer last week, he didn't expect the current supply to make it past September.
It's my understanding we're not going to make it with that supply, so we're going to have to find funding to buy more.
We have spoken with Dayton PD, who oversees the repository, and there's not a shortage. They have plenty for the officers.
Jody Long is Director of Treatment and Support Services for Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services in Montgomery County. She says what's much more likely is deputies or officers would run out for a day.
They may have a temporary shortage for a period of time until they can go back and resupply.
Local hospitals supply Narcan to firefighters and EMS. Inglewood's fire chief says they're slammed by calls requiring Narcan.
There is no shortage of it, believe me, there's plenty of it out there.
The money to buy Narcan for law enforcement comes from the Ohio Department of Health and an ADAMHS levy.
We've not seen a big increase in the number of the cost or the number of kits that are being supplied by law enforcement.
ADAMHS is spending more on Narcan for community members, though. Compare about $40,000 last year to about $100,000 in 2017. Narcan for law enforcement costs about $80,000 a year here. We reached out again to the sheriff to ask about the supply. We have not yet heard back. Reporting live in the News Center, Kate Bartley, News Center 7.
Sure.